gonna get started. If you have your strap or your belt, have it up by your head. We're gonna get started laying down. So go ahead and lay down on your back, and if you can do two things. You can either lengthen out the legs or you can bend the knees. So if you have some low back sensitivity, it might just feel better to bend the knees. So wherever you're at, let's get started. If you have a playlist that you would like, any music, go ahead and start that. And if you have your activity tracker, go ahead and start that. And we'll get started. So once you're here, either bend the knees or straighten out the legs. Let's give a little stretch here first. So let's interlace the hands, take them up overhead. Oh, nice big stretch. And release the arms alongside the body, palms facing the ceiling. Relax the shoulders down into the mat. And let's close the eyes here. Let's take a moment to settle. Noticing how the body is feeling. Is there anything that calls out to you right away? And if it's something that can be moved or shifted, can you adjust that area? So if it's like, oh, my forehead itches, just itch it. So that way you don't have to think about it. It's out of the mind. Do a big shoulder roll. Open up through the front of the chest so that the shoulders are really down onto the mat, the shoulder heads. And just working with the breath a little bit. See if you can take some bigger, fuller breath. So some big inhales through the nose and some big exhales through the nose. If you are particularly warm, then you can exhale, release the heat from the body, so exhale through the mouth. But if you can keep it in the inhales and exhales through the nose, that would be great. If you have Ujjayi breathing, nose throat breathing, you can go ahead and engage that now. And just taking a few moments to let the thoughts start to flutter away. Becoming a little bit more present in the body, noticing how things are feeling. And when you're ready, slowly just bring the knees into the chest. And we're just going to give ourselves a little bear hug here. So a little rock side to side on the mat. So just massaging the spine. Just a little warm up. If the hip flexors feel tight, which is very normal, if this is the first time you've been in this position today, maybe you had a little warm up when you woke up out of bed and did a few knees to chest or happy baby, but if this is the first time you're here today, the hip flexors might feel a little tight. That's okay, that's normal. We're going to work those out a little bit, start to open up hips and hamstrings. So let's go ahead and take the soles of the feet up toward the ceiling. We're going to take the arms inside the knees, grab the pinky side of the feet, and then flex the heels up. So happy baby. And you could rock a little side to side. So there's a reason, right? They call this happy baby because babies do this. And as a yoga instructor, I'm not a parent, but I am an aunt. I'm a teta. My niece is 6 months old, and she did this the other day, and I was just cracking up because I was like, okay, well, that's why they call it happy baby, because babies do it. It's true. And then go ahead and extend the legs. So you're going to take the hands behind the hamstrings, flex through the feet, and then start to straighten the legs. So as you can see, like even my legs, my hamstrings are really tight right now. They're just not ready to straighten all the way. It's perfectly fine. Keep a bend in them. And then you're just going to support them with the hands. So you're just starting to warm up the hamstrings. And then we're going to rotate, bend one knee and then bend the other. So bend one knee and then straighten through one. And then switch. It's almost like a little bicycle. Switch. And switch. Flex through the feet. Open up the toes wide. Start to warm up the feet. The bottoms of the feet. Through the calf. The hamstring. over the glute to the low back. We're really getting that deeper stretch here. So just slowly opening. Good, and then knees into chest. Interlace the hands, take the right knee in, extend that left leg long. So flex through that heel, let that heel drop down onto the mat. Good. If you have low back sensitivity, you can bend this left knee instead of extending it fully. Good, bringing that knee into the chest, relax the shoulders down. So the shoulder heads are reaching down toward the mat, so you're getting this opening through the front of the chest. You don't want to hunch it around, you're not doing crunches, we're opening up. And then take that right hand on top of the right knee, we're going to do some big hip circles. We just want to find a little bit of fluid in that hip joint. Good, and then rotate. Opposite circle. Make the circles really dramatic if you can. And then bring that knee back in. Notice if you can bring it in a little bit further. Typically that opens up that area a little bit. And then take the right hand on top of the right shin. We're going to open up to the side. So the left leg is still extended, and then we have our knee bent into the chest, but we're opening up to the right side. So we're just getting a little bit of inner thigh movement here. Still flexing through both of the feet. When you're ready, bring it back. Both knees to chest. Even it out. And then switch sides. Change the inner link of your hand, so opposite pinky on bottom. Draw the left knee in, flex through the right foot, extend that leg long. Good, nice, smooth breath here. You can have the eyes open or closed. We're just doing the same thing on this side. So no surprises here. Good, when you're ready, left hand on top of the left knee. Some circles, big dramatic circles on one side. Or I should say in one direction. Still doing it on one side though, so I guess that's not completely wrong. And then switch. Big circles, opposite direction, getting a lot of fluid into that hip joint. So we're moving the hip joint, this ball and socket joint, the way it was intended to move, right? We typically aren't doing these types of movements. Bring that knee back in, interlace the hands. We typically don't do those movements on a day-to-day basis. I mean, maybe sometimes, maybe we, do that when we're standing, but that joint is meant to be moved in all directions, right? So we're warming up that area. We're getting some fluid in there. Good, when you're ready, taking that left hand over the left shin, open it up. Nice inner thigh stretch here. Keep that low back flat on the mat. This is a tongue twister. Low back flat on the mat. I'm not going to attempt to say that several times fast. Good, and then bring it back in. Just hold for a second, knee in, and then both knees in. Good, interlace the hands or give yourself a little hug. Rock side to side here. Notice, even with just those few minutes of opening, do you feel a little bit easier to open the body? Good. All right, the last few motions before we come up. If you have your strap or your belt, go ahead and grab it. We're going to open up here. So, strap, we're going to do the right leg first. The strap is going to go on the arch or the ball of the foot. You can decide which one you like better. The arch of the foot is going to get a little bit more calf stretch. The ball of the foot is going to be a little bit more even. So try them, see what you like, and then decide. I typically go for the arch of the foot because I like to actively press my heel up. I want to make sure that I'm stretching through my foot. So reaching the heel up, spreading the toes wide, go ahead and grab the strap, bring it closer in with the body so the hands are by the belly. And then flex the heel up toward the ceiling, straighten the leg. If you cannot keep it up so that the heel is above the hip with a straight leg, that's fine. You just lower down until you're able to straighten the leg. So it could be a few inches off the mat. You could be, toe behind the head, wherever you're at. Just keep the leg straight. If you hyperextend, always keep a micro bend. You're welcome to do that if you don't know what hyperextending means, going past the point. So here you can be, or you could take it a bit further, flex that left heel, and then straighten that left leg down, just like you did before. So right leg is up, left leg is extended, or that knee is bent. If you have low back issues, that knee is bent. Good, take a few breaths. Just opening up deep through those hamstrings. Like I said, we're gonna take it a little bit slower today. We're gonna have a little bit more of a hold. So a little bit deeper into these muscles. Nice and smooth though. Good, then bend that left knee. We're gonna do a little in-air swap. So just how we started, bend the right knee, put the right foot on the mat. Flex through the foot. If you put the strap on the arch or the ball of the foot on the first leg, do it the same on the second. Flex through that heel, push that heel up toward the ceiling, take the strap closer into the body, and lift the leg up. Hold here for a few moments. We'll extend the right leg, but just hold. We went into it soft on the first side. We're going to go into it soft on the second side. When I teach in person, I see a lot of people just want to straighten that leg right away. That's not creating evenness. We want to do everything as identical as possible on both sides of the body. So now, go ahead. If you want to extend that right leg, go ahead and do that. Flex through both of the heels. And notice the grip on the strap. So if you have like this death grip where your knuckles are turning white, maybe we could relax that a little bit. Maybe we could lay off that grip a little bit. So use a little bit more of the hamstring muscle to help lift the leg up. Good, one more breath here. Bend the left knee, bend the right knee, and release that strap. Good. A little rock side to side if you'd like. And then we're actually going to rock and roll our way up. So we're going to come up and back. So if that doesn't feel comfortable for your low back, roll to one side, pop up. But if you can, rock and roll a little bit. I just think it's fun. Way I like to do it until you're all the way up. Good. We're going to come straight up and over, hands and knees when you're ready. Stack and track those bones, shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. Cat-cow movements. Open up the fingers, press down into the hands. Drop the belly, broaden through the collarbones. As you exhale, you're pushing the mat away, you're rounding the spine, looking through the toes. Good, keep that going. 5 full cycles of breath here, nice and slow movements. Good. As you drop the belly, you're lifting the chest, you're slightly looking up, but you're not looking up so much that you're straining the back of the neck. Good, last round. And bring the spine back into neutral when you're ready. Just pause here for a moment. If you need something under your knees for padding, you're more than welcome to grab something. If you're okay, we're just pausing in neutral, noticing the back. And then when you're ready, big toes together, knees come out wide, child's pose. Sit the hips back, reach the arms forward. Nice big child's pose here. So your knees can be as wide as the mat, or they can be wider, or they can be more narrow. Some people just like to have the belly rest onto the knees. That's perfectly fine. Some people want a really good inner thigh opening, so they want their knees really wide. That's good. Some people want it in the middle. That's good. It's all good. It's your practice. You take it at your level, at your pace. I'm just here to kind of take you through the motions. Just make suggestions. Good. Extend the arms, press into the fingertips. We're going to thread the needle here. Take the right arm underneath the left, palm faces the ceiling. Release some of that weight down onto the right shoulder. And then make sure the forehead is touching the mat again. If the forehead cannot touch the mat, if the shoulders are tight and it's hard to get the chest down, you want to grab a block or a blanket or something to put underneath that forehead. You want some kind of connection with the forehead. Good, release, back to center. Extend that right arm, and then switch sides. Good, nice smooth breath here. That right arm is fully active. It's completely extended. So the forearm is lifting off of the mat. You're pressing down into the hands, into the fingers, almost like you're in downward facing dog. Hint, hint. That's where we're going. So we're warming that area up. Good, bring it back, center. Now transition downward facing dog. Lift the forearms, engage the arms completely. Press down into the fingertips. Don't just pop up. We're going to take it slow. We're going to make sure our body's good and aligned. We're active. We're doing everything. The wrist creases are parallel with the short edge of your mat. When you're ready, slowly start to lift the hips up, tuck the toes, bring the knees in, and then when you're ready, hips go up and back, downward facing dog. Now take a few moments here. This is our first down dog. So we're gonna open up through the hamstrings. The good thing is that we focused a little bit on that when we were laying down on the mat. So this might feel a little bit more open than normal because we made sure we warmed those puppies up first, huh? Get it, puppies, down dog? Ha! Oh man, recording yourself is just a different game. It's just, the jokes are different. You laugh at yourself a lot. Okay, now when you're ready, come up onto the tippy toes, lift the heels. Bend the knees, hips go up and back. So you want this nice long spine as much as you can find it. And then slowly start to straighten the legs, let the heels drop down. Look back at the toes. We're gonna walk back to the toes, and then come up halfway, lengthen, find that nice L shape with your body. So here I always like to just take a moment. That L shape with your body, when you do your sun salutes, your flow, when you're here, you want a nice stack and track. So the hips over the knees, over the ankles. Right here, that's halfway with this nice flatter back, right? You still have the natural curves in the spine, but you have a flatter back. Instead of here, or instead of here, right? No dumping. We just want to be here. Good. Exhale, bend the knees. Release the hands onto blocks or onto the mat. Full forward fold. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, hinge and fold. Good. One more. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hinge. Press through the feet. Arms come out, around, and up. Flat back as you roll all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. Hold here. Thumbs into sternum. I need to save a little roly-poly that is on my mat so I don't harm it. I need to go release it. One moment. I'm just putting it somewhere else where it can roll around. Roly-poly. Okay, roly-poly safe. It's nice and safe. So now we're back at it. Press down through the feet. Spread the toes wide. Inhale, arms come out, around, and up. Reach the arms up. Sit the hips down, chair pose. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Don't dump into the low back, so find some length here. Frontal hip points lift. Tailbone lengthens. Good. Hold. One more breath. Straighten the legs. And then hinge forward. Forward fold. Inhale halfway, that nice L shape. Exhale, hinge, forward fold. Press through the feet. Inhale, the arms come out, around, and up. Reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, lift, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hinge. Press through the feet. Inhale, the arms come out, around, and up. Reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, adding on. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge, forward fold, release. Inhale, half. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step or jump back to plank. Hold your plank. This is the fun part, right? We get to hold our plank. So So frontal hip points lift, tailbone lengthens down. Press through the heels. So we're not here, we're not in down dog, right? We're not cheating. We're not here, we're not arching our back into up dog. We're in a plank position so that if I put a marble on in between my shoulder blades, it would roll all the way down my butt through my legs. It's gonna have this nice little slow roll all the way down. I'm a plank, I'm a board. Isn't that like a pirate thing, right? Plank. And when you're ready, drop the knees, shift the weight forward. Chaturanga push-ups, we're gonna do 3. So shift the weight forward so that the shoulder comes above the wrist, in front of the wrist. Tuck the elbows, press down into the hands. Bend the elbows 90 degrees. Push it back up. Good, shift forward, bend the elbows, push it back up. Last one, shift, bend, and lower down. Press the feet, tops of the feet into the mat. Thumb knuckles are by the low ribs. We're gonna do a few little cobras, warming up the back. Inhale, cobra, straighten the arms if you can. If you need to come into baby cobra here, that's fine. Exhale, lower them down. Good. Inhale, lift, cobra. Exhale, lower. We're not lifting the legs, that's up dog. This is cobra. Inhale, lift, last one. Exhale, lower. Tuck the toes, shift back through plank or tabletop. Make your way into downward facing dog. 5 full breaths here. This is your break time. This is your time for the head to be below the heart. We're inverting the body. If you need to come into child's pose here to take a rest, you're more than welcome. Bend the knees, look forward, step, step, come up halfway lift. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge, forward fold. Press through the feet, inhale, the arms come out, around and up, reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, lift, rise it up. Exhale, hinge, forward fold, release. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step back, plank. 1 breath. Shift the weight forward, Chaturanga Dandasana. Cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bring the big toes together. Come up onto the toes, lift the heels. 3-legged dog, right leg lifts up. Press that heel up toward the ceiling. Don't dump into the left arm. What tends to happen is we want to dump into that left side, and we're not going to do that. We're super firm, arms are straight, pressing down into the hands. Look forward, bend the knee into the nose, plant that foot, low lunge. Right foot forward, left foot back. So if you have blocks and you need them, you can grab them. You just place them on either side of the foot. If you don't have blocks, your hands are down onto the mat. It's up to you. Blocks or paper towels or whatever you got at home. Good. So stack that right foot. Right knee is right above the right ankle. We have that back heel lifted, right? We're not in warrior. We have that back heel lifted. We're bending deep into that right leg. We're trying to open up this left hip flexor. So we're bending deep here. Now hold here. If this is enough for you and you can't make your way all the way up, you can just stay. It's a great modification. If you want to come all the way up, right hip back, left hip forward. Slightly tilt the pelvis forward so that you can feel a little bit more opening in that left hip flexor. When you're ready, inhale, lift it up. Good. Biceps by the ears. Now remember, I said we're going to hold some things a little bit longer. So if you're fatiguing and you need to take a break and drop that back knee, this is perfectly fine. You're more than welcome to be here. This is great. Any level that you're feeling today or any modification you need to make for your body, you make it. If you're here, great. If you're here, great. They're all great. It's all yoga. It's fine, right? We're all good. All right, one more breath. Dig a little bit deeper, bending a little bit deeper into that right leg. Oh, feel that nice. Hips are so great to open up, aren't they? Good. When you're ready, if you have those blocks on the sides, go ahead and move them out of the way. Plant those hands. Now, firm the belly. I want to see if you can do this silently. Obviously, I can't hear you, but I trust you. So, firm the belly so that when you shift that right leg back to plank, it's silent. Let's see if we can do it. We'll do it all together. Ready? Lift it up. Plank, chaturanga. Cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Shift out the legs a little bit. Notice how they feel. When you're ready, at the end of that 5th breath, bend the knees, look forward, step right foot, then the left foot, come up halfway, immediately lift. Exhale, hinge, fold. Press through the feet, inhale, the arms come out, around and up, reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. Second side, inhale, reach, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge, full forward fold, release down. Inhale, lengthen. Bend the knees, plant the hands, step or jump back to plank. I'm still helping my little foot injury. Chaturanga, cobra up dog, so I cannot jump, or I shouldn't. And downward facing dog. Good, look back at the big toes. Bring the big toes together. Come up onto the toes, lift the heel. Second side, left leg lifts. Reach that right leg up. Left leg up. Press through that heel, hold. Don't dump into the right side. Straighten through the arms. Push the mat away. Lift your body up. Good, look forward. Bring the knee into the nose. Low lunge, drop that foot. Now we're holding here, remember? So we're taking it slow. So this right hip wants to go back, right? So if you grab your thumb into that little hip crease, if you got a little extra, like I do right here, a little extra booty, you can feel it. Put your thumb in and then push it back. Physically push it back, and it will help create that right hip to come forward and that left hip to go back. Sometimes for tactile learners, hands-on learners, they like to feel it. So that's a good little adjustment for your body. And that's nice, you're doing an adjustment on yourself. Good, hold here. If your arms are still down, you're good. You're keeping it there. Flex through that right heel. Press that right heel down toward the mat. Knee over ankle. If you're ready, lift it up. Good. Hold there. Frontal hip points lift. Tailbone lengthens down. So it's actually kind of nice, that little adjustment that you just did. I just want to touch on that for a second as we hold and our muscles are super engaged. The yoga world is changing. The world is changing. Adjustments are probably not going to happen for a very long time. And so if you can adjust your own body, doing little things like that, tactile learners, the hands-on learners, it's a really great thing to start to learn. So if I say like, hey, you want to feel this area or feel this area on yourself, might be a nice little option for you. Last breath. Look down. Plant the foot. Plant the hands. Okay, silent. See if we can do it. Lift the toes, firm the belly. The stronger the belly is, the more silent it's going to be. Lift and back. Good, nice plank. Shift forward. Chaturanga. Cobra up dog. Downward facing dog. 5 full breaths here, guys. Nice, smooth breath. Nice long spine. Lifting the hips up and back, pressing down into the hands evenly. Bend the knees, look forward. Step left foot, right foot, come up halfway, lift. Inhale. Exhale, hinge, forward fold, release. Press through the feet, inhale, the arms come out, around and up, reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Thumbs into the sternum. Stay here. Breathe. Oh, man, I am sweating. It is warm in here. My body is worked out already today. It is cranking. So grab some water until we come into that next set. And made sure I brought a big cup of ice water because it's so hot. Look how cute this cup is. It says, I teach yoga, what's your superpower? It's the coolest cup ever. All right, I got it as a gift before I actually became a yoga instructor. Very, very sweet person in my life. All right, look down at the feet, spread the toes wide, lift the toes up. Good. We're going to do the toe game. So you look down, you spread the toes. You release the toes one at a time. So pinkies down, and then the fourth, and the third, and the second, and the big toes. Can we do it again? Lift the toes, spread them wide. Drop the pinkies, and the fourth, and the third, and the second, and the big. Cool, huh? All right, we're gonna shake it up. We're gonna do it one more time. I usually only do it twice, but we're gonna do it one more time, and we're gonna do it the opposite way than we always do it. So if you take my class and you see this, we're gonna do it opposite, big toes first. So, spread the toes wide. It's gonna be hard. Drop the big toe, ooh, and the second toe, and then the third, and the fourth, and the pinky. Did your toes curl in? Because mine just curled into these little toe balls. That was super funny. So we're just gonna practice. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. All right, stretch out the feet a little bit. Roll out the ankles. Good. Come up to the top of the mat. We're ready for our second little round of flow. If you have your blocks, go ahead and grab them. Keep them close to the top of your mat. If you have your water, if you need it, keep it up. When you're ready, top of the mat. Spread the toes. Press through all four corners of the feet. Frontal hip points lift, tailbone lengthens down. Firm your belly. We're going in with flat back, right? So we want to protect that low back by firming the core. The core strength is responsible for the low back support. So, firm the belly, the glutes too, but in this case, firm the belly. Inhale the arms out, around, and up. Release the shoulders away from the ears as you reach the fingertips up. Hinge from the hip flexors. Dive forward. Good. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, step or jump back to plank. One breath per movement. Shift the weight, Chaturanga Dandasana, lower. Cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now bring the big toes together. Lift the heels. Right leg reaches up toward the ceiling, three-legged dog. Good. Now drop that right hip a little bit so that it's even, it's parallel with the left side. So you're not opening up. Your pelvis is even. Good. Look forward. Knee into nose. Bend that foot. Low lunge. Now here, pivot the foot down. 45-degree angle. Back foot's down. Inhale, warrior one. Reach it up. Good. Remember, we're holding. We're holding today. So biceps by the ears. So it's a little bit different, right? Our hips are in a different position. So we're not pulling one of the hips back this time, but we still are bending deep into that right leg. We're pushing out through the pinky side of that back foot. Your arms are here. I'm just speaking, so I want to be able to see you, but your arms are here. Biceps by the ears. As you bend into this right leg, that right knee is in line with the second toe, right? So it's not coming to the left, not coming to the right. In line with the second toe, bend deep. You could be here. It's fine. It's yoga, right? You could be here. Asana. Yoga is so much more than physical practice. We all know that, right? Good. One more breath here. Good. Release the hands. We're going to come back into that low lunge. So bend, pivot that heel back up. Grab your blocks. Bring them by that foot. If you have them. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. We're going to take a half of a hop up with that left leg. Half hop. So not a full length, but a half. And then we're going to straighten through that right leg. Okay, now here, pelvis, where is it at? Right hip is down, right hip is up, left hip is down. We're creating some evenness here. So nice flat back. If you have blocks and you need them, we're going to come in a little forward bend over this right leg. So pushing the booty back as we hinge forward. And you can be here. Look at how nice flat back here. But if you start to come like this, you need to get a little bit more length. So you can be here, you can be here, you can be here, you can be wherever you're at today. Look just slightly above the mat so that your head and neck stay in neutral. That right hip keeps going back, the left hip keeps going forward. You're pressing through that back pinky side of the left foot as you press down evenly through the right foot. Good, deepening a little bit more if you'd like. Hinge over that right hip flexor just a tiny bit more. Good, nice smooth breath. We're getting it a nice long opening. Okay, we're gonna take it back a tiny bit. So move the hands back a few, like about a foot or so, and then bring it up. Nice long spine. Lift the toes, press into the heel. Ooh, nice big calf stretch. This is great for runners. Where's my runners? I'm a runner, not a real one, but I would like to be one day. I run occasionally, not occasionally, I run weekly, what am I saying? But I don't consider myself like a runner. I consider myself someone who wears running shoes, runs around areas, and tries to remain upright and breathing because I'm not very good. Good, release that foot down. And then remove those blocks. Bend into that right knee. We're going to drop those hands. Shift back, plank. Chaturanga, or go straight into down dog. Cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to hold here for 5 breaths. Drop down into child's if you need it. Balasana. Notice the difference between the calves. Ooh, man. Got a little difference in those, huh? All right, bend the knees. Look forward. Listen carefully. Step right foot, then the left. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Nice L shape. Exhale, hinge, fold. Press to the feet. Inhale, the arms come out, around and up. Reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Feel a little uneven. One side, then the other. I got you. We're going to even it out. Inhale the arms out, around and up. Reach. Release the shoulders away from the ears as you lift. Exhale, hinge, forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step back, plank. Shift the weight, Chaturanga Dandasana. Cobra, up dog. Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward facing dog. Good, big toes together. Come up onto the tippy toes. Look forward. Actually, I'm sorry, look back. Left leg up first. Left heel reaches toward the sky. Now here, remember, don't dump into the right side. Press through that heel, lift it up toward the ceiling. But drop it so that the pelvis is even. Look forward, now look forward. Knee into nose, low lunge. All right, hold here. Now, second side, we're bending into that left knee. We're gonna come up, warrior one. Pivot that back foot down, 45-degree angle. You can be here, you can grab your blocks and just be here if this is where it's at today. Inhale the arms up. Biceps by the ears, but we're not shrugging the shoulders, we're releasing the shoulders away from the ears. And we're lengthening through that back body. We're bending into that left knee, right? That left knee is gonna be on fire in a second. It's great. Strengthening, stretching, feel that inner thigh, that right inner thigh opening up. Good, hold here. We were on the first side for a while, so we gotta be on the second side for a while. Good, bend a little bit deeper. Press through the pinky side of that right foot. Notice anything that's happening in your body. What does your body need? Listen and respond. Don't just listen and say, oh, that needs to move. Move it. Shift it. Do it. I'm just here for suggestions, people. That's it. Good. Hold one more breath. Drop the hands down. Now, come back into that low lunge. Lift that back heel up. You're going to do your little half hop. Half hop. Good. All right. 45-degree angle with that back foot. The left foot is straight forward. Come up, halfway lift. Now, the right hip drops a little bit, and the left hip lifts a little bit. With that nice flat back, hinge from that left hip flexor. So that area, remember, if you got a little extra, you can feel it right there. That little area here, and hinge forward, right there. You know, I like having it because it gives me something to reach my hip back, right? So I have this little area to adjust. It's right below the left hip bone, if that makes sense. It's right where that hip bends, the leg and the hip. Good. Keep a few breaths here. Look slightly forward from your mat. And just enjoy this nice little stretch here. Pressing through the foot, connecting with your breath here. Transitions are a really easy way to lose our breath and lose our thought process and being very present. So every time you transition for the first few breaths, once you have your alignment set up, see if you can bring it back to the breath, back to the body. Good, one more breath here. And then if you have your blocks, bring them with you. If your just hands are on the mat or your hands can be on the mat. It's perfectly fine, no worries. But I just have blocks today, so I'm gonna use them. And then press down into the heel, lift the toes. Spread the toes wide. You wanna keep this foot active. Good, hold here. Nice smooth breath. That right hip is reaching forward, the left hip is reaching back. You're flexing through that left heel. Good. Nice smooth breath here. When you're ready, drop that foot back down. Remove the blocks out of the way. Bring that hand down. Shift back, plank. Chaturanga, cobra up dog. Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. Oh man, how do your legs feel? Mine feel good. Nice and open. Man, my hamstrings are tight sometimes. Good, look forward. Listen carefully. Left foot, right foot. Inhale as you lift halfway. Exhale as you hinge, forward fold. Press through the feet. Inhale, the arms come out, around and up. Reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Good job, guys. All right, one last option for flow. If you want to go through a little flow before we come down to the mat, I'm going to go through it. You can come with me. If you're ready to just hit the mat, go ahead and lie down. Knees into chest if you're lying down. But if you're coming with me for this last round, just a little flow. Press down into the feet. Inhale, the arms come out, around and up, reach. Exhale, hinge, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump back to plank. Shift the weight forward, Chaturanga Dandasana, lower cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 full breaths here. Good, bend the knees, look forward, step or jump, come up halfway, immediately lift, inhale. Exhale, hinge, fold. Press through the feet, inhale, the arms come up, reach to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. And release. All right, you ready for the mat? All right, let's come down. So if you're on your back and you did knees to chest while we were doing that, come up into a seat. If you are just here, come into a seat. If you're thirsty, grab your water with your I have superpowers mug. Okay, now let's talk about this. The pelvis, right? If it is really hard for you to sit in a tripod like this, so if you're here, cross your legs, sit in a crisscross applesauce. But if you can have the shins down instead of fully crossing the legs, if you can have the shins down, knees out, so you're in this little tripod, so sitting bones, 1, knee and knee, 1, or shins in 1. But if it's hard to do this, a block is a great recommendation. I have one under my booty, and it just gives the pelvis a little bit of height, so that way you can tilt the pelvis a little bit more forward. If the hamstrings or the glutes are tight, sometimes it's hard to sit up nice and tall. And that way you can firm your belly, you can support the spine by having that height and sitting up nice and tall. You can be on a blanket, you can be on a pillow, you can be on anything that gives you a little bit of firm height, so that way you can lift the pelvis a little bit more. So if you're here, great. If you're not, come join us. So we're gonna twist with the body a little bit. So we're going to inhale, the arms come up, reach to the sky. We're going to twist over to the right side. We're going to drop one hand back behind us, one hand onto the opposite knee. Oh, nice little twist here. We just have focused so much on the lower body. We're just going to take a moment to work on the upper body, opening up. A nice little twist. You can look in neutral or you can look behind your right shoulder if you'd like. Good. Keep the twist. Lift the arms. Come back to center. Inhale. Exhale, twist second side. From the belly, twisting over. Good. Head and neck are in neutral or you're looking behind that left shoulder. Pressing down evenly through both of the sitting bones. The sitting bones are like the bottom of the pelvis. So like the contact under the left butt and the right butt. Good. Lift the arms, untwist, and release the arms down. Good. Roll the shoulders a few times, back and forth. Good. Open up the arms, palms face the ceiling. We're going to just come into a little bit of eagle arms. So no legs, but eagle arms. And then right arm under the left. Bend at the elbows, palms touch. Now, keep the elbows close into the chest. And then when you firm the belly, find the nice long spine, and you want to lift a little bit more, then you just reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling. You'll start to feel that nice deep stretch through the shoulders, through the upper back. Now you can be elbows into chest, that's perfectly fine. If you're reaching up, that's perfectly fine. You just can take it at any direction you're at. Any level, I hate to say level, it's not a thing. There's no levels. Wherever you're at, wherever your body wants it to be. Good. Exhale, release. So you're going to counter this. So listen carefully. Straighten the arms, thumbs down, squeeze the shoulders. Oh, that feels good. That's a nice little counter. Good. Go ahead and release the legs. Switch, opposite leg in front. Just want to even out the hips a little bit. Notice that this side will be different than the first. Might be a little bit more open. It might not. Second side. Inhale the arms. Cross, opposite arm on bottom. I can't remember which one I did, so I'm just going for it. Whatever I said, rewind me. And whatever I said, do the opposite on this one. And then knee or elbows into chest. And then when you're ready, lift up. Fingertips reach to the ceiling. Take a few breaths here. Good. Elbows into the chest. Straighten out the arms. Counter it. Unwind. Thumbs down. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Lift the chest. And release. Good. Roll the shoulders back. Interlace the hands. Drop the hands down to the back or to the ground, and then squeeze. We're just squeezing. We're not even lifting the arms away. We're just opening up the chest here a little bit. If you have a job that you type or you drive a lot, if you're commuting, or I don't know, text, or you're on your phone a lot, this is a really good counter to that because we're like all day. So we're countering that. Doing the opposite. And then exhale, release, slowly release. Good, shake out the arms. Wasn't that a dance move back in the day? I'm pretty sure it was. Okay, remove that block. We're gonna come down to the mat, onto our back. So if you have blocks, you can just move them completely out of the way. You don't need a strap, you don't need your blocks. We're done with our props, if you have them. All right. I like to come down, knees to chest, and roll. It's up to you. Go down however you want, but this is fun. I feel like a little turtle when I do it. Good, knees into chest. Oh my gosh, teaching online is crazy. All right, when you're ready, bring the feet back down to the mat. We're gonna open up the right hip. So take that right hip over the left, flex through the heel, recline pigeon or figure four. Bring the hips up, interlace the hands behind the left thigh, draw the legs in. Flex through both of the feet. Flexing the feet is gonna protect the knees. Our knees are important. We want to protect them. If it is hard to reach the back of your thigh, you can do this with your strap or your belt, where you just hook it behind and then you hold on like at your chest. I was gonna say like you're riding a horse because you have your little reins right here, but it's kind of true. It's like riding a horse. I'm losing it, guys. It's so hard to teach online only. It's so great. I love doing it. I really do. But it also is you talking to yourself, and I feel like at this point, every single time I teach, I just start to go on a little bit of a tangent of nonsense. And release the arm. And release the leg. Good. Second side. Left leg, flex that left heel, open up that left hip first, and then bring the hips up. You're going to change the inner link of your hand, so the opposite pinky, the funky feeling pinky on bottom. And all that does is it just creates a little bit more evenness throughout the body. So we're trying to not have a dominant side. We're trying to be completely equal on both sides as much as we possibly can. So we tend to just, things like interlacing the hands, we'll do it over and over and over on the same side every single time. And over time, that's actually imbalancing our body even more. So we're just trying to create as much evenness as possible. Good. Take one more breath here. And your exhale, release. Unwind. Good. Let the hips sit in neutral for a moment. And then bring both of the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Notice how this feels a little bit different than the beginning of class. Good. And then release down. We're going to come into a little gentle twist. Open the arms, T position. Lift the knees up into the air. You're going to drop the knees to the right side. And wherever the knees fall, you just let them fall. They don't have to be anywhere special, but just let them fall. If that is too much for your body, you can take a block or a pillow or a blanket underneath the right knee just to give yourself a little bit more height if this is too big of a twist for your body. If you want to, keep the head and neck in neutral. If you want to, press down through that left shoulder blade. It's going to open up a little bit more. And if you want to, take the gaze over the left shoulder and take a few breaths. Bring the head and neck back up to neutral. Firm the belly, lift the knees. Second side. Let the knees drop to the left. If you have your props on that side, go ahead and move them over first. And then lower the knees. Maybe look over the right shoulder. Press down through that right shoulder blade. Notice here how it is for your body to take deep breaths. Maybe it's a little bit harder being in a twist. Twisting is beautiful for the digestive system. It's an emotional releaser. Good. When you're ready, bring the head and neck back up. Firm the belly, lift the knees, knees into chest. Give yourself a little bear hug. Squeeze. All right, a little yogi's choice. I'll give you about 1 minute to do anything that your body feels needs to be done or to even out. A few suggestions. You can just be here. You can come into happy baby. Anything that feels good for your body. You can do what we did at the beginning where you were straightening one leg and then bending the other. Just really trying to get all of the little wiggles out and all of the movement out of the body before we're ready to rest. So make sure the body feels really good, even and comfortable before we're able to come into that final posture. If you did it on one side, go ahead and do it on the second side. Try to take your last breath here. Bring the knees back into the chest for one final little bear hug, one final little squeeze. We'll make our way into that final posture, Shavasana, corpse pose. Extending the legs, extending the arms. Closing the eyes. Letting the hands release up toward the ceiling, so the palms reach toward the ceiling, the fingertips curl in. The head and neck is in neutral. Close the eyes if you haven't already. And start to feel your body be very heavy on the mat. Imagining the connection of the back body into the mat, into the concrete, into the earth. Letting gravity fully take over, hold you down, completely support you, so that you can rest here knowing that you're safe. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Invite small movements back into the body. And when you're ready, bend the knees into the chest. Roll to one side and pause there. Use that top arm to help press yourself up into a comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and tall. You can bring your hands into the heart if you'd like, closing the eyes. Taking one last breath all together, we'll take an inhale through the nose and an exhale, lion's breath out through the mouth. Inhale, fill the belly up. Exhale, release. Namaste.